was the guy who had all of the oracles. He was the royal prince. He was the guy who was anointed. And they wanted to transfer all of those good omens upon Vespasian.
Okay.
And the way they did it was to bring this guy before Vespasian and say, look, if Vespasian can perform a miracle on you and cure your blindness, then surely Vespasian must be a greater prince than you. He must have the oracle.
Okay.
And you don't, because Vespasian, can do it to you.
That's interesting.
So he used Jesus' miracle techniques of spitting in someone's eye to cure his blindness.
There we go.
Yeah. And this, I believe, was a meeting between Vespasian and Jesus after the fall of Jerusalem.
Okay.
In late AD 70, in about late August, early September.
So we're coming up, so to speak, to what is going to happen to Jesus, his consequent, I guess, either exile or something similar to England, and that is something that we definitely want to get into. But what we have to do now is to take a little break here, because we're running out of time in our first segment. But we're going to continue our discussion and lead us through here, so to speak. But before we do that, though, I do want to talk a little bit about your appearance on the upcoming conference, the Beyond Knowledge conference in Liverpool, England. This is the 3rd and 4th of May. So this is definitely something for our British and European friends out there who want to see Ralph Ellis, and there's more fine fellow researchers that will be attending the conference, like David Hatcher-Childress, Jerry E. Smith, Marcus Allen, Michael Tessarion, Ken Thomas, Ian Crane, and David Griffin. It's going to be a very exciting event, and I want to mention the website here that you could pop over to, write up that and bookmark and take a look. There's much more information for you there about this event. The website is beyond-knowledge.co.uk. Again, that's beyond-knowledge.co.uk, and there you can see where you can buy tickets and so forth, and much more information. Ralph, tell us a little bit about your appearance there and what you're going to be talking about on the conference.
Well, I should be there on the Saturday afternoon, I think, for the Saturday, and it'll be an hour and a half, I think. I've slightly changed it. It said originally that I was going to be talking about Solomon, but I've been persuaded to put together a presentation about the new book. So this will be a presentation on the Jesus book.
Ah, fascinating. And leading into King Arthur, I guess, then also?
Yes, indeed, leading into King Arthur. So it should have lots of pictures of Syria and Jerusalem. And I should be performing one of Jesus' miracles as well.
Really? Okay.
On stage.
That sounds interesting. Worth checking out for sure. Definitely. Yeah, so again, head on over to the website there. It's beyond-knowledge.co.uk. Myself and Fredrik is going to be there as well. We'll not do any talk there, but we definitely want to meet up with some of the folks there and listen to all these fine speakers to talk about their research and so forth. So that's going to be very interesting. Do check it out. Looking forward to that very much. Okay, so Ralph, let's do like this. Tell us shortly about your own website and some of the books that you have on there for us and your new one, and then we'll take a short break.
Okay, well, the website is www.edfu-books.com. So that's the official site for Ralph Ellis, and it's got various bits of information on there, and obviously it's got details for all the books. So I think there's 6, if I remember correctly, in the religious series now. So that starts with Jesus Last of the Pharaohs, goes on to Tempest and Exodus, which is obviously about the Exodus. Then we have Eden in Egypt, which is basically saying that obviously the Genesis story was actually located in Egypt, and Adam and Eve were in fact Nefertiti and Akhenaten. Then we have Solomon Falcon of Sheba, which is a very, I still think it's one of my best although it's not the bestseller, I have to say, but I think it's one of the best of the books, which is Solomon, Falcon of Sheba, is the discovery of the tombs of King Solomon and King David and the Queen of Sheba, which I think is a fascinating story because it wraps up the whole of the United Monarchy into one book and placing the whole of that history back into Egyptian history.
Wow.
And it just works so well. It's absolutely fantastic. So that's one of my favorites.
Right.
And then we go on to Cleopatra to Christ, which is, as we've been speaking about, saying that Jesus was the great-grandson of Queen Cleopatra.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come on to the final book, which is to be published late April, perhaps early May by the time it gets here, because it's being printed in America. And that is King Jesus, from Cam to Camelot. And Cam, of course, is the ancient name of Egypt.
Cam, yeah. Now the coin drops down, so to speak.
Yes, that's right. That's the ancient name of Egypt.
Right.
So Camelot was based on the name for Egypt.
Yeah, there we go. Well, very interesting. And this, it seems too that your series is, it's following chronologically order in regards to time. Is that right?
Pretty much. Jesus Last of the Pharaohs, which is the first of the books, is a bit of a synopsis of the whole of the Bible. So it starts with Genesis and it goes all the way through to the New Testament. I wrote that as a book which was going to be the final book. But of course it turned out not to be the final book at all. It was just the start.
Right.
So then I've gone back and done each separate segment of the Bible separately. So Eden in Egypt covers the Genesis story. Solomon, Falcon of Sheba, covers Kings and Chronicles, which is the United Monarchy of King Solomon. Tempest and Exodus covers the Exodus story. And then, of course, Cleopatra to Christ goes on and discovers lots of things about the New Testament, as does the final book, King Jesus, which is obviously pretty much all on the New Testament story. Right.
So do stay with us as we'll go further into the story of the crucified Jesus, the reverse miracle by Vespasian, and also, of course, how this is leading up to the connection with the Arthurian legend or the story of King Arthur. So it's going to be very interesting hearing the continuation of this. But in the meantime, though, check out the websites edfu-books.com, and for the Beyond Knowledge Conference, that's beyond-knowledge.co.uk. Ralph, stay with us and we'll be right back.
Thank you.